Thank you so much to all of my patrons. Join now to help support the channel and help pick the books that I review. Link in the description below. What up, nerds? Welcome to Weekly Reads. This is a video where I share insights and takeaways from all the things that I've read over the last week. So whether you're here looking for your next great read or you're just curious to see what I'm up to, this is the place for you. Let's start this fine Saturday morning off with a bit of fun, shall we? The winner of the ARC for the upcoming new release by Marshall Karp, Don't Tell Me How to Die, is More Than Average Joe 8224. So Joe, if you're seeing this, drop me an email to thenerdynarrative@gmail.com and let me know what your mailing address is so I can get this in the mail to you as soon as possible. And drop me a line in there and let me know if you're interested in buddy reading this. Just in case Joe's not watching today, I'm going to respond to his comment on YouTube to let him know. Now let's talk books, starting with what I have finished reading this week. The list is very short. The only book that I have finished this week is The Gate of the Feral Gods by Matt Dinniman. This is the 4th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and my goodness, it was amazing. I am just in awe of how much intrigue that Matt Dinniman has dived into this far in the series. Carl and Donut have descended onto the 5th floor of the World Dungeon. According to the announcement, this floor was supposed to be pretty straightforward. 1 bubble, 4 castles, 15 days. For those of you that are currently reading the series or you've read the series, you know by now nothing is ever that simple in this book. Can't wait to sit down and film the review for that one. If you have not read this series, it's a lit RPG series. It is hilarious. I cannot find a single person that has tried this series that has not loved it. And in fact, I don't think I have talked to anyone yet or seen people talking about it on social media that did not immediately purchase all of the books that are currently out in the series before they even finished the first book. If I've managed to rouse your curiosity about the series, but you need to know a little bit more, I do have non-spoiler reviews for the first 2 books on the channel, which I will have linked in the description below. Moving on to what I am currently reading. I think I am currently reading all of the same things I was reading when I talked to y'all last week, except for The Gate of the Feral Gods. So I am still working on Valley by Stacey McEwen. This is the end of the trilogy. I have this thing about finishing series. I just don't want to do it, especially when I love the world and the characters so much. The Glacian trilogy is one that I am equally excited and also sad to see it go. This is so unpredictable. Stacey McEwen is an author that is extremely unpredictable. She takes predictable tropes and she finds ways to just twist them in ways that I just never would have even, of course I'm easy to dupe, we all know this if you've been watching the channel for a while, but I feel that those of you who are able to put things together and piece things together and solve thrillers and mysteries before you get to the end, I think this author could stump you. The Glacian trilogy is an epic fantasy romance trilogy. This is the end of the series. Dawson Sabar is preparing for this daunting journey of attempting to lead her people through the chasm in hopes of finding its end and there be somewhere inhabitable for them to set up and exist and live peaceably away from the ledge, away from Glacia, and away from the valley where Tursal is. This journey is not going to be easy. They have no idea if there's an end. They don't know how long it's going to take them to get there. Their resources are finite. The chasm is pitch black. They're trying to save their torches for just during the daylight hours, or what they are assuming are daylight hours, to help light their way to prevent falling and tripping and injury. There's all this relentless whispering that are surrounding them in this chasm. This is something I don't know that I would be able to do it. I think I would go insane 2 days in, probably not even that if I'm being honest. If the dangers of the chasm were not enough, the king of Glacia and the queen of Tursal are also hunting these people. I'm over halfway done now. I have been babying my way through. I've been doing a lot of rereading. Oh my goodness. It's like I'm trying to commit as much of this story and what's happening to memory as I can. Like I can't just reread this series whenever I want to. It's weird. It's just a weird relationship I have with ending series. Are any of you like this? Do you not want to finish the series? Do you drag your feet? I think I have close to 20 series where I literally just need to read the last book. I am also still working my way through 20th Century Ghost. This is a collection of fiction by Joe Hill. It is not all spooky stories. There's a lot of speculative fiction. There's some slice of life. There's been a couple that I thought were really humorous. I've currently read 13 of the stories, so I have 2 left. Of those 13, 3 of the short stories I loved. 4 of them were okay. 4 others I thought were extremely boring, and 2 of them I thought were really funny. The 4 that I found the most boring had a lot to do with the game of baseball. So if you are a baseball fan, I think you would find those a little more interesting than I did. Perhaps there is an analogy that I would have understood better between what was going on in the story and its connection to baseball. Not sure, but that's where we are with that collection. And then the last book that I'm currently reading, of course, y'all know as soon as I finished listening to The Gate of the Feral Gods, I went right into book 5 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, The Butcher's Masquerade. Carl and Donut have reached the 6th floor of the dungeon. It's called the Hunting Grounds. As the remaining crawlers, what's left of the human race, as they battle for their lives on this level, there's a new threat that has been introduced into the dungeon. Outside tourists, aliens, are allowed to pay a price to enter onto this floor. A lot of these hunters do this with every iteration of the dungeon crawler world. They're veterans. They know what they're doing. They've been training. They've been able to enter onto the hunting grounds while the crawlers were coming through the other levels of the game. They're ready to hunt. But their prey is far from harmless. Perhaps they should have taken a break from their training to see what the crawlers were doing on levels 4 and 5. I am so excited to see how this one plays out. I'm only about a quarter of the way in so far. I have just been absolutely cracking up. For those of you watching that have read this series, I think the most laughing I have done is when Carl laid eyes on Mordecai for the first time when he got to this floor. There's also Donut singing and Mongo and what was her name? Was it Kitty? No, Kiwi. Oh my gosh, this series has just been the best discovery of my reading life. As far as what's next on the TBR, same as last week, Pinky. And since I have gone over these books over the last couple of weeks, I won't bore you with it again. I'll link my September TBR down in the description below if you want to hear a little bit more about these books. But my next read is The Ravening by Daniel Church, which is an excellent reason for me to quit dragging my feet on Valley, quit savoring every page like I can't reread it, and get it done, because this is one of my most anticipated reads of 2024. Love Daniel Church. After I read The Ravening, another highly anticipated read of mine, it will be The Puzzle Box by Danielle Trussoni. And once I knock those 2 out, I'll be moving on to Save Game by Joseph Sale. As far as this week went on the channel, on Tuesday I released my non-spoiler review for Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert. On Thursday, my non-spoiler review for the 4th book in Meg Gardner's unsub series, Shadow Heart, dropped. And this is one in the series, even though it's labeled as the 4th book, can absolutely be read as a standalone. I also dropped a bonus video yesterday. I went ahead and posted my non-spoiler review for Carl's Doomsday Scenario. That's the 2nd book in Matt Denneman's Dungeon Crawler Carl series. Oh my gosh, I cannot stop gushing about this series. Next week on the channel on Tuesday, my review for Funny Story by Emily Henry is going to go live. This one came out in April. I filmed a review. When I edited it, I hated it, so I refilmed it. That one's going up on Thursday. A surprising 5-star read for me. I've got my non-spoiler review for The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich going up. And who knows, there may be another bonus video coming. A few of you may have noticed an unusual lack of reading took place over this last week. We got up to a lot. We went to Halloween Horror Nights Thursday, Friday, Sunday. On Saturday, we went to the Orlando Pen Show. And of course, as usual, I left with a pen. Just like last year, I picked up a new Novelore. Hopefully, actually, can I do this and it show you? Oh man, look how pretty it is. It's purple. You know I had to have it. And I just love the purple little nib and the little pen clasp on there. Had to have it. I have not picked an ink that I'm going to put into it, but this is a Novelore Original Plus. It's a piston filler one. I don't have one of those. So see, I needed one for my collection, you know, for science and research. But that's where I'm going to wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me. Remember, a good book is always worth sharing. Thanks again to all of the Nerdy Narrative patrons, with a special shout out to the Nerds Radiant. Chad, Mel, John, Gail, Amanda, Ashley, Star, Tara, Ann, Amanda, Andrew, Kate, Ev, and Sharon.